All right. Turn off light music. How was the exam? I swear it felt like they chose questions that were specifically what I didn't focus when studying. Like, bro. It was just annoying, you know? It felt like intentional, bro. I checked a few questions that I wasn't sure on, that I remember from the test. I got most of them right. Hold up. Gotta check something. I just wanna I wanna check my history to see if I remember the questions that I asked. It was back at where was it? Hold up. I'll lock in. Well, here, hold on. yeah, hold on. Let me just do this real quick. I remember. Okay. So pretty much there was around 5 questions I checked after the test, which I wasn't sure I got right. I think Huh? Hello? Okay. I think I got 3 out of 5 of them correct. But remember, 3 out of 5 of the ones I wasn't sure of. 3 out of 5 of the ones I wasn't sure of. So it isn't on average, I'm getting 60%. But one of them, I think, was, it just showed, like, I think it showed systolic blood pressure, and it said, like, is this, or when this is the reading of blood pressure, which is, it was just, like, I think 180 systolic, so it was just hypertension, right? They said, like, what were the adrenal glands secreting? And I wrote noradrenaline, thinking, like, oh, it's the opposite of adrenaline. Adrenaline makes your... Oh, no. Hold on. Something frightening happened, and it was after, when you're calming down. What was making your heart rate go lower? So then I wrote noradrenaline. It was a diastolic reading of blood pressure. And I thought, like, I messed up my understanding of adrenaline, noradrenaline. So it said, adrenal glands secreting, adrenaline, not that, secreting noradrenaline. And here's, at least I was considering the right answer. The right answer was acetylcholine. But I wrote noradrenaline thinking, like, oh, parasympathetic nervous system perchance? But no. Noradrenaline actually increases your heart rate, and adrenaline does something in there. Man, I forgot. Alright. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. The test is over. The exam. But it was harder than I thought, because they wouldn't, like, say something like, they wouldn't say, like, what valve prevents backflow into the left ventricle. They would say, what valve prevents backflow from the chamber with the highest blood pressure. So you'd have to know that the left ventricle has the highest blood pressure, and then you'd have to figure that out. And then there's really weird ones I've never seen before, where it would give me, like, it would give me a list of, like, different, like, sometimes they wouldn't name, like, they'd give a diagram of something, and they wouldn't actually name the parts, but they'd name it, like, X, Y, Z, and you'd have to use that. So, like, you can't just memorize the names of what things do. You actually have to know what it looks like. And also, if that specific thing, that organ, like, is mentioned earlier, then going forward and seeing the name later on would just help you answer the previous question. So then they would just name it, like, a random variable. Random letter, hold on, I assume variable because it's, bro. What has school done to my brain? That's like saying A is a letter, but X is not a letter. X is a variable. Like, without context. That's what I just did. But that wasn't the only thing they did. The other thing they did, I've been talking so slow because I've been locked in. The other thing they did was they would give, they would give a list of different substances, and they say how many of them, not which ones, but how many of them would be hold up. How many of them would be secreted in the case of this? And then they would they'd give a list of like 10, and then they say 3 out of 10 of them would be, 4 out of 10. Like, you'd have to know them in your head, but that's annoying though, because I don't even think it's the best for testing somebody's knowledge. The whole point is like knowing which ones are secreted. And if you don't know and you guess like maybe 4 to 10 of them are secreted, then that doesn't really show that you know. But it does show that, like, well, no, it's just harsh. Because if, like, you know, 6 out of 10 of them are secreted, and you only know 5 out of 6 of them, you're not gonna get like a 5 out of 6. Like, congratulations, you know 5 out of 6 of them. You're gonna get a 0 because you need to be aware that 6 in total are secreted, so you have to consciously think of all 6. I feel like you should get a slightly higher mark than 0 if you wrote 5, because at least you knew 5 of them. And then they did a really annoying thing where it's like, they'd say this and this happens, where one of those things is definitely correct. The other one is like, technically, or no, hold up. The other one is like technically wrong, but it's like, but you kind of want to say it because it's really related. And the first point was just like, what you immediately think of. But then another point says 2 things that are technically correct. Not immediately what comes to mind, but like are technically correct. It is annoying that what they tested on is just like pretty much exactly like, I bet they thought, like, they consciously thought before making it, like, what do we think they would ignore or skip the most? What details of this course would they skip the most? And they chose that to be the majority of the test. And you know what's crazy? They did almost nothing on nutrients. I think the word carbohydrate was not mentioned once. Once! Like, it was insane. I think there's a few, like, units that were entirely not even, like, mentioned. I don't think they mentioned anything about, the digestive system. Like, nothing. No, I think they mentioned something to do with pancreatic amylase, but nothing else. And they'll try to trick you. Like, they, instead of just, like, saying, what's the powerhouse of the cell? They'd say, like, what's the powerhouse of the cell when this occurrence is happening? And it's like, it's still mitochondria, but it's like, now I'm questioning it because you said this specific occurrence. And now I'm thinking, oh, does it change? Is it a different answer now? Like, they're trying to penalize you for stuff you're like, you feel confident about, but it's just like, they penalize you on if you're not sure when something applies. Where did my click go? What? Huh? Zippity bee dibbity bee bee. What was that? What? What did we just do to 100? Chad, do we know? Did we, what? No, why do I do that? Why do I turn off? What did I achieve by turning off no clip? Not knowing what run I got. That's all I've achieved. I've done that a countless amount of times. What did I achieve? And it's only negative when I do it. Okay, just... $30 to $100. Alright. 30 to 100. From 0. No, that doesn't change. Bro, what do I achieve from doing that? Okay, this isn't... Okay, let's just restart the game real quick. While it's restarting, everybody on YouTube, go to the link in the description of the stream and also have a tab open on Twitch. You don't need an account or anything, it'll just open up a Google tab. Just in case I get an ad when you guys get an ad when I'm at like 90%. Alright, we're just gonna do the copyable. Just in case. I feel like I have to have... I'm not allowed to do that either, okay. So then we'll just play from 0 here. But yeah, just in case I get an ad, or you guys get an ad when I'm at like 90%, you will miss the backflip if you don't have a Twitch tab open that you can switch to. Alright, that's pretty good. I love how I turn it off, so like the exact moment before I'm allowed to see, which is the only way for me not to know what I need to know. I have the craziest muscle memory set in place for that. But yeah, everybody on YouTube, make sure you, and same for people on Twitch, make sure you have a YouTube tab open. You can do it on mobile as well. Just like click on it, it'll just open up a Google tab. You don't need an account. It'll just like, you can just watch from there as well. And it has less delay, and the chat you see on screen is Twitch chat, not YouTube chat. So there's another reason. Dedicate this attempt to Jair Bolsonaro. Jair. This attempt is dedicated to Jair Bolsonaro. This attempt is dedicated to Jair Bolsonaro. This attempt is dedicated to Jair Bolsonaro. I'm gonna make it past like 10. This attempt is dedicated to Jair Bolsonaro. This attempt is dedicated to Jair Bolsonaro. This attempt is dedicated to Jair Bolsonaro. I think that's the most attempts to ever take me to get to 10%. That was expected. Okay. $2. Warm up. I'd appreciate if you play. I'll have it up there. Dedicate the next temp.
Dedicate the next Cuber attempt to Kid Bengala. He is a famous actor in Brazil.
Okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, bro, nice try. Nice try. That was so perfect. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna do any more from you now. Even if it's fine, I'm not gonna do any more.
SquidMan 7667 just gave SquishyMan 100 bits. Squishy, where is cheat indicator? Gar pointer crate will boo very much if no visible cheat indicator.
I couldn't care less if I don't have one. If it's not on pointer crate, then I don't know. You can just calculate where I would be if pointer crate allowed it by just adding slaughterhouse. But all the different I don't know, all the different rules are getting hard to like jump through, and it's just making a lot harder for me to record and stream and do everything, because I have to switch it in between each one, and then I forget to do one thing, losing like hours of recordings or hours of a bunch of stuff only to get it accepted on the list. I don't think that's worth it. We can just all know that I beat it, and I don't know, it won't be on pointer crate. And I'm saying this after cheat indicator, like, bro, just turn on cheat indicator. It's not gonna make a difference, because what does matter is that I have a recording that turns off desktop audio, so they can only hear the clicks over the gameplay. And that's just really hard to set up. It's just I always have to switch it manually in between and after every stream, which I'm not willing to do. So I just won't have it on pointer crate. So I might as well not have the cheat indicator. I mean, it's like, oh, turn it on. If anything, that's like just more stimulation in my peripheral vision, so makes it harder to beat Slaughterhouse. And what would be the point of turning it on if they're not going to accept it anyways? So I just fully accept if it doesn't go on point crate, because I mean, it's just one more process, or one more step, just like, you know, add how much I would get if I beat Slaughterhouse afterwards, and then you can find where I actually am. Was it 55 to 100? Sounds about right. Yeah, 56. What happened to my click? That just is not supposed to happen. ship section. I would have realistically gotten 57. 80%'s pretty good. Alright. I can't mentally do